It is episode 79 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass John. Ah!
And now we are new and improved with the great.
Waters. Here I am,
Scott Waters from No Life.
Am I too close to the camera?
You're a beautiful man, Scott. Yes, please lean in as close as you like. Boy, it has been 79 episodes, but I want to talk about some things really quick before we get started. First of all, we're going to do a couple of plugs. Sorry, I was finishing up something right there. Click and we're posted. You got to do the social media tie-in. So, everybody's got to be all updated on social media before they shut us all down. What?
I was gonna post our link on Parler, but it didn't work for some reason.
Ouch!
You almost got me. Oh man, we will bow to no sponsors. Come on, Living Death, at least send us some free water. Come on, you can do it.
Come on, Living Death.
Liquid Death. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
I want to plug a couple of things. First of all, I want to talk about the Metal Rob show that you can catch every Friday on Deep Dallas Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. You can go to the metalrobshow.com and check that out. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. And also, if you want some kick-ass artwork from the homeboy over there to my side, go to @CarcassJohnArt on Instagram, and he will fix you up. Album covers, banners, what do you need? It's all there.
It's all there. In fact, I'm doing something exciting this week because if you can read my shirt, if someone can read my shirt and answer on my @CarcassJohnArt, I will send you stickers and I will send you a special artistic surprise.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hit up the Carcass. And we also want, Scott, plug what you've got going on.
NoLifeTillMetal.com. You can reach my YouTube account, my Facebook account from there. And NoLifeTillMetalRecords.com is the record website that you can hit up. You can also get to that one through NoLifeTillMetal.com too. There's links to the record site from there.
Yeah. Now tell us some of the things when people talk about NoLifeTillMetal.com. We're talking about some reissues and some bands that are more, I don't want to say underground, but kind of they're breaking in like Madrost, Tell us a little more about the label real quick.
No Life to Metal Records started 3 years ago now, I think. And we were just wanting to help some bands get their stuff released. And do some classic reissues, and there is one of our reissues, Bangalore Choir. We've done everything from death metal to pop metal, which is exactly what you just showed. And there's the sampler. So we do reissues and we do new artists. We've got quite a few thrash metal artists, which ties into what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, it does.
Hellbender, Madrost, and In Ruins is all From the Ruins are all on our label, and we are actually talking with a few other bands about releasing some more stuff in the near future. So there's Madrost. Yeah, they've been one of my they were one of my favorite bands before they were on my label. So they had 3 albums out before we finally got involved with them. I just contacted them. I'm like, dude, we need to start selling your stuff. So we picked up their 3rd album and started selling it just, independently for them. And then they were like, yeah, we're recording our 4th album. I'm like, well, let's just put it out for you. And then we ended up partnering with them and doing it. And I don't know if he's announced it yet, but I may be letting a cat out of a bag, but they're now writing for their 5th album, Madrost.
Nice. Well, I wanted to do some nice promo because we don't take enough time to do that for each other because we've all got projects going on. And Scott still being, I don't want to say the newbie because you're certainly the veteran of this crew because you've had your No Life Till Metal channel for years and you've got thousands of followers and we're still trying to break a couple hundred. So thanks for coming on board with us and rolling out the red carpet to hang out with us clowns.
That's my fun.
Yeah, so let's get down to, I want to do one quick shout out before we get started, and then we're going to talk about thrash bands that we think you should know. So I keep putting my finger over the camera. I'm so stupid. Okay, I got a new CD in the mail yesterday. This is the new Bloody Hammers album.
Yes.
I absolutely love Bloody Hammers. I got to know these guys through record collecting. If you like Volbeat or Volbeat, however you say it, you'll like this band. If you like Danzig, I think you would like this band. And if you like anything scary movie punk rock, you'll like this band. It's kind of a mixture. It's got some darkness of Danzig, but you know how Danzig's also kind of rock and roll. This is really rock and roll for scary movie fans, is what this is. Very clean vocals, very, very catchy, but it's still heavy. It's what I definitely would call it metal, but man, it's really good horror influenced rock and roll. I love it. Bloody Hammers came out early this year. I'm stoked, freaking stoked to have it, and it's autographed if you got the pre-order.
Yeah, Bloody Hammers is way better than Danzig and way better than Volbeat. Oh gosh. But anyway, I digress.
Volbeat's good. Go ahead, do your shout outs. Quit Volbeat.
I got shout outs. How about there's an artist friend of mine, Harvest, the artist from Ohio, that sent me a couple of killer prints. I bought a couple of things from him, so I'm not the only one doing something scary and deviant and album oriented. He hit me up and we've sort of traded artwork back and forth. I want to say a shout out to Lynn Tippett from Salt Lake City, Utah. And I'm opening his eyes. He asked for a sampler, so it's great. We're gonna start exchanging some musical ideas. And as it pertains to our show, the band Warfect, WARFECT. Look up Drone Wars on YouTube. It's one of the best new thrash songs. They're killer riffing geniuses from Sweden, a powerhouse three-piece just like us. What say you, Scott?
I'm just ready to talk thrash, man. I'm just all
All right. Well, let's do it. I'll tell you how I got started on this. So, Carcass, what happened was, and this pertains to you specifically because you were there, I started posting up some of the videos that were on my phone and putting them on the Metal Roundtable YouTube channel just because I'd, had some decent access at a couple of shows. And one of the ones that I watched several times as I was posting it was Razor from Side Stage at Hell's Heroes 2 years ago almost. And I had never seen Razor. I didn't know much about Razor except that I'd picked up a couple of records and collections over the years. And when I saw those dudes live, that guitar player blew me away. That dude's down picking was just insanity. I couldn't believe it. So I fell into the Razor rabbit hole yesterday, and by the time I came to, I had ordered their complete discography off of eBay, mostly from Gary Schaefer, a Facebook friend of mine who runs the original Heavy Metal Museum site. And it's all on the way. But then I got to thinking, well, just like I didn't know about Razor, even though they're a huge classic band, I thought we would talk about some more, underground bands, lesser known bands that we think you should know about, classic or otherwise. But the ones that I have, oddly enough, I'll start with H, and they're modern bands. But I'm going to let you boys kick this off.
Well, I'll kick it off just based on what you said about Razor, because I'm going to start off right here in Texas with
Oath of Cruelty.
Oath of Cruelty.
Forgive me while I Google as we go along.
This is Dave of Death Collier. He's also in, he's been in Morbosi Dodd, but his other band is a grind project called PLF. And this thing right here is a traditional, this is like Sodom with two guitarists playing Razor riffs. This thing is so impressive. If you don't have it, you need to have it. And they're from right here in good old H-Town on Dark Descent Records in Colorado Springs, Colorado, with the artwork drawn by the enigmatic and amazing Daniel Sawblade Shaw. This thing is a ripper. You've got to have it.
As I pulled him up on Facebook, I was about to say the words, did Sawblade do the artwork?
Yes, he did. This thing is terrifying. It is so good.
Okay, I'm on it. I'll be buying that. I may be buying that during the show.
I just wrote it down.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed. It is so punishing. Guys from Imprecation, Blaspherian. I'm trying to think who else. I know that that Matt has the drummer has been in just about every band that's any band in the Gulf Coast, and can't speak to how impressive it is. I have their demos too. If you can get your hands on the demos, that's great. If you can't, let me know. I will be happy to send them to you. They are worth a listen also, including the best Slayer cover since Slayer and Necrophilia. Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm headed over to their Bandcamp page because it talks about, on their Facebook page, it's talking about some of their stuff. So I am going to check them out right now.
Do that.
That's why we do this.
You won't be disappointed. I'm telling you, that thing rips.
I'm stoked.
Right on, my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right, I grabbed a few bands here, but this is the first one. Since you said Razor, my first thought was Canadian band Rammer.
Oh yeah.
Dang it. I'm going to have to.
Rammer, this is their first album. Now, these guys are I believe they've disbanded recently. I believe they're formed in around 1997, 98, somewhere around that point. I didn't grab everything. They've got a ton of like 7-inch singles out. But this was their first EP, the 12-inch. And then I just grabbed them all because there's only 4.
And they're from Canada?
First full length. Yep.
Rammer. In fact, the drummer and the bass player used to be in Toxic Holocaust for a while.
Yep. So anyhow, this is their first full-length, Cancer, which was from I don't know, 1990. I don't know. Actually, it's probably more 2000, early 2000s.
Yeah.
2004, 2005 in that area, 2006 maybe. And then their next EP.
Oh, is that the one with ramming speed? Or
this says Otherworldly Leatherface is what it has on it. It's got a cover.
Okay.
Which
okay, that looked like the ramming speed split. But anyway.
And then so Leatherface is come on, Laws Rocket, right?
Oh yeah.
And then this one, which is cool as crap. This is the last one they released. This is a DIY project. It's so cool. The story behind it is awesome. It's on Schizophrenia Records. So what happened is they recorded the album. Right, let me pull this thing out of here. They recorded the album. They pressed it to vinyl. And then the band broke up. They never printed the covers. And they had just this bunch of records with no covers sitting around. They started throwing them away. Apparently they had black vinyl and red vinyl, and the black vinyl all got destroyed, tossed, whatever. So finally they decided the record company, Schizophrenia Records, decided to put it out on Record Store Day in Canada one year. And as you can see, it was only 100 copies pressed. So this is number 78 of 100.
Oh, man.
But this is literally, what they did was they must have had a bunch of blank copies of the cover without the record in it.
Yeah.
So they took that. I don't know how well this is going to show to you guys, but we'll see. And they tore them apart. Can you see inside there at all?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they tore it apart, turned it inside out, re-glued them. If you look closely here, you can kind of see where it's a little torn and glued.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Silk screened the Rammer logo on one side, silk screened the Schizophrenia logo on the other side. They must have made a rubber stamp for the Record Store Day and the number 100, and then they hand wrote the numbers on there.
That's freaking awesome.
That's perfect.
Literally a photocopy. It's so freaking cool.
That's awesome.
But anyhow, Rammer style wise, very aggressive. Pushing more towards the Creator, Sodom, Old Sepultura, Slayer, Dark Angel, those kind of things. At times they have a little bit of a death metal vibe, but there's no blast beats. I mean, I wouldn't call them death metal by any stretch of the imagination. But if you remember death metal in the early days, was back when, early death stuff, that kind of vibe. So yeah, great band from Canada, Rammer. And on top of those four I showed, they do have a bunch of 7-inch singles and demos, other kind of stuff too.
And I think they actually have a CD out that has all their demos and 7 inches on them.
They might. I don't have that, but I do have other stuff. So,
well, I gotta tell you, man, when they broke up, they must have gone scorched to earth because I can't find anything. Okay.
Anyway,
I'm spending money during the show.
I actually picked most of them up from Discogs.
Yeah, okay. You're gonna have to go there.
Yeah. I like it. I'm excited.
So there you go. That's my.
Is it your turn?
Decided we're gonna do. I actually pulled five or six different bands. So I don't know how many you want to do each, but that's what I have.
Now,
I pulled 15 bands. But go ahead.
I'll let you guys talk the most because you're gonna have more underground stuff. Like I've got some stuff that's fairly known, but I want to talk about one that Carcass and I saw open for Hellstar over at, what was that club in Fort Worth? Tomcats?
Tomcats?
Yep. Went and saw. It was going to be my second or third time to see Hellstar. They came into town. I don't remember who else was on the bill other than Hellstar and these guys. Oh, no, they were opening for oh my gosh. Who was the headliner that night? Carcass?
Flotsam and Jetsam.
Yes, it was Flotsam and Jetsam.
Oh, nice.
Hellstar and Hatchet.
Dude, those dudes rip.
And
I love that band.
And I checked those dudes out online before I went to the show so that I would have some sort of idea of what was going on. But I remember the crowd was fairly sparse during their set. They played early, and I think that people didn't really know. But we walked up like a couple of 15-year-old kids right to the front of the stage, and we thrashed our asses off to Hatchet, and they delivered the freaking goods. And right now, this is the only one that I have. This is Dawn of the End, but those guys crushed it. They were super cool, took pictures, bought some t-shirts and stuff from the merch table, but I can't say enough about how traditional old school thrash this is. I freaking love Hatchet.
Just as a side note, they had a horrible tragedy with when all those Northern California fires were happening.
That's right. Yes.
Their trailer with all their equipment burned up, all their instruments, all their guitar, their practice space burned to the ground. And you know what? Those guys didn't miss a beat. They said, hey, if you want to donate, great. We're going to, get back in the saddle. And they were still recording. I hope that they're still out doing stuff because, man, they did rip. They were freaking awesome. And to your point, there was nobody standing there on the front row when they started. But by the end of their set, there was a giant circle pit and bodies were flying. It looked like the permapress cycle in your washing machine. It was freaking awesome.
Yes, it did.
Nice.
Oh yeah, they were great, man. Take it away, Carcass.
Oh, me? You know what? Speaking of violent fury, how about these guys? Pagan Fire from the Philippines. In fact, I love the title on the back. It says Wreaking Fear and Death.
Okay, I've heard of that.
So I actually did a tape cover for them. We got to be friends over Facebook Messenger, and I bought a Saxon tape from him, and he said he didn't have PayPal. And these guys, in fact, check this out. They just sent me a demo of new music, and this now you talk about old school tape trading. Here you go. This is as old school as it gets on a Maxell UR60, handwritten with new Pagan Fire. They have a new record coming out. It'll be out on record tape, etc. These guys,
I love
it. These guys bought a Gamma Side box set from me, and they pooled their. I didn't realize this until after I'd already sent it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have charged them. They pooled a month's salary together between the four of them, so they could listen to it in their practice room together because they wanted that Gamicide so badly. So
Oh,
I just
man.
loaded up a box of stuff and started sending it to them. And in turn, they send me stuff back. In fact, they sent me a Filipino triple X t-shirt. And guess what? I am hard pressed to fit into it, but I am proud to say that because of good health and good eating, I am able to fit into that shirt. I should have worn that today, except I thought I would read the unreadable. Have we decided what this is yet? No, we're not going to say what it is. I want someone to guess because I think we know what it is. But Pagan Fire, talk about the underground and the obscure. But if you listen to these guys, you're going to be amazed. They are a blackened thrash band, kind of like you and I talked about yesterday, Rob. You couldn't put your finger on it. When I say the word blackened, all of a sudden it made sense.
Yep.
But they rip. They, once again, and I don't know why I'm drawn to these bands like Early Sodom and Early Destruction, but maybe because I love German thrash. But anyway, Pagan Fire, anything by them is good. And once again, like Scott, like Rammer, you'll find a bunch of 7 inches, a bunch of tapes. There are a bunch of comps. They're on an Australian assault comp with a bunch of bands from India and Delhi and Thailand and Laos, and it's just Kampuchea. So anyway, it's a crazy metal world down in that Southeast Asia, Australia corridor. So you want to go into a deep dive down the rabbit hole, go there because it is wild.
Pagan Fire. I wrote it down.
Man, ripping.
All right, Scott, what you got?
This next one, about Texas band, and I actually wasn't going to show this one, but when you guys started talking about Texas metal, I was like, I got to show it. These guys aren't together anymore as far as I know, and they only put out a bunch of demos and like one tape that was a full-length album, but Consecrator.
Oh, those dudes shred. I love that band.
Now I'm at this. This is the vinyl version of it. There's also a CD version that's got more songs on it, but this thing was only 150 copies. If anybody's interested in this, I know for a fact that roxrecords.com has 2 copies left at $29.99.
Okay, I'm on it. ROX Records, ROXX?
ROXrecords.com.
Okay, I'm on it.
They have. So unless somebody else beats you to it, because I looked there today, I'm like, I was shocked because they only had 150 copies pressed. So
dude, I love that record. Rob, you gave me a copy of that. You said, here, check this out.
Yep.
And I was like blown away.
And there is one new song on this thing called Meaningless that because they recorded another album that never got released and never got mixed. So they had this one that was nearly mixed. And we ended up using that as a bonus track on the vinyl. But this is fantastic. It kind of has a, I don't know, Coroner, Believer, that kind of, real techie style of thrash metal. Yeah, but there's plenty of CDs available. But yeah, if you're interested in the vinyl, there's only a couple left. But yeah, had to show you that one. It's kind of cool too because it's different packaging. Again, like the Rammer, it's kind of unusual packaging. It's
kind of got the wraparound sleeve, right?
Yeah, it's a wraparound sleeve. So, and it come with a bunch of crap too. So it came with an 8x10 band photo, and it came with a little black and white interview sheet, and it came with a freaking sticker. But the actual vinyl sleeve, so you got a black sleeve wrapped around with like an L card or a J card or whatever you want to call it.
Oh wow!
And then they're all hand numbered. Mine happens to be 2 out of 150.
Huh? How did that happen?
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I got lucky.
I think you do know. Yeah, Consecrator rules, man. That's a great band. I've seen Consecrator. How about that?
Oh, you're a lucky dog.
I know. Rob and I talked about it because he was saying, I don't think they ever played Texas Rock Fest, but you know what? I think they did because those pictures right there.
Yep, you're right.
Are Texas Rock Fest.
Yeah, I didn't see him at that.
I think that looked like some of those same photos at the Gamicide. When I put together that box set for them, they had pictures with the background that had all the trees and the oaks and stuff in the background. So I wonder if they played the same show. That would be interesting to. That's a deep dive.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know.
Anyway,
but anyhow, there you go. That's my next one. So you're up, Rob.
So I somehow, when I very quickly scanned my collection to talk about some underground or lesser known or whatever you want to call it, I hate saying that because I don't want to, make it like these guys are not well known, or I don't mean it like that. I don't know how to say it, but we want to promote these guys because we believe in them. Now, these guys are on Candlelight, which is a nice size label, but dude, Carcass is going to go off on this. Did we see Havoc?
Yeah, we've seen Havoc.
I shared a stage with Havoc.
We saw them at the Gas Monkey Live.
Who did they play with?
Everybody. They played with. Were they on that show with? No, it wasn't Anthrax, and no, that was somebody else. We saw them there though. No, we saw them at the Bar and Grill, not at the live venue.
Were they with Toxic Holocaust?
I know they were toured with. Pretty sure they toured with Warbringer at one point.
No, all I remember is it was cold because I talked to Pete Weber, the drummer, and we were sitting out there by the fire pit out there on the one corner of where the stage is.
Vector.
So
they toured with Vector too.
Oh, Vector! I booked them at a little place called the Alamo here in town. I can tell you the story about that. I just found the pictures.
Well,
crazy band.
This to me is just cool, classic style. Obviously, super modern, ultra fantastic recording. The Repka style art. I'm not sure if that's. I don't think that's Repka, but no, horror. I can't read it. Anyway, artwork is great. Everything about Havoc is top notch. You guys can say more about them than I can, but as soon as I heard these guys, once again through record collecting, and probably the Carcass turned me on to them. Fantastic, old school style thrash. Can't get enough of Havoc.
Yeah, their first two are my favorites. The most recent one is really good too. I just did my top 20 of 20 video on my channel, and it made my top 10. It's really good. The one from last year, which the name is escaping me at the moment.
Nonconformist?
Maybe, yeah. That one had a bit of a funk thing going on, and I liked all that slap bass stuff, and I just wasn't into it as much as I was their other albums. And they have an EP out too with a bunch of covers on it. They do a Slayer cover.
Yeah.
They're from Colorado. Yeah. I remember now.
Yeah, Dave lives in Lakewood, and they do all their own production. That's him. He records them and makes it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. They're great guys live. I mean, we played with them twice, and both times they were really friendly guys. And
okay, I'm glancing at their Facebook page. I forgot they were from Colorado. Yeah. Okay. HavocBand.com if you want to check out Havoc.
Dude, they not only are they quality musicians, but they are quality people too. Every one of them, Reese and they're all great. They're good dudes. They're easy to they're great to they're easy to support because they're such good people. So
they're really nice.
And they rip. I mean, they rip.
Scott, is the one you're talking about, is it Burn, or is it the one with the dude on the front that's like decaying or whatever?
Yes, that one.
Top 10.
It's called
one is Decaying is the newest one.
Yeah.
Which I probably have sitting right here. Hang on a second, because I just did that video. Or not. Oh yeah, I do. Here it is. Yeah, this is their latest Havoc 5 or Havoc V.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's self-titled, right? Or no, it's 5. Okay.
5. Well, 5. The Roman numeral 5, but the one before that has kind of a spacey looking goofy guy with big eyes and almost like a robot.
Okay. I am all over this.
Yeah, they're all good.
It's different. It's different in a Megadeth versus Metallica kind of way. But not to say it's bad, but it's very different. But I'm glad they went back on V. They went back to the old Havoc, I think.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
I'm on it.
Okay, well get on this too. Get on this too, boys. Death Hammer.
Damn. I got
Death Hammer from Norway. It's a 2-piece, and if you can find the killer tricolor, but these dudes are riffing machines, and I think that I saw these guys in a taco stand in East Dallas, which welcome to Dallas. I mean, there's some there's an old mechanic shop that I've seen. Cryptic Void, War Master, some just Witch Haven, some killer shows. Oh, Needless Things from Czechoslovakia. So yeah, as weird as Dallas is and as clicky as it is, they got some cool elements. But Death Hammer, Norway, this thing shreds. They're on Hell's Headbangers Records, and I'm telling you what, all their stuff. Toxic Radiation is a top 10 thrash song of all times. So Death Hammer, Toxic Radiation, look it up and tell me you can play that fast, because I guarantee you can't. Okay, maybe Scott Shelby can play that fast. Maybe Mike Taylor can, but I know you can't.
Right. I can't.
I definitely can't.
Yeah, I absolutely cannot. Death Hammer. I'm on it.
Who's next?
2 H's. Go ahead, Scott.
Go ahead, Scott. Yeah.
Let's talk some German thrash.
Yes, let's do that.
All right. So this band was formed, I believe, in 1992. And I didn't grab their whole discography because I didn't want to have a bazillion records to show. But this is one of their older albums, but this is Repent.
Dude, they rule.
Yep.
I love Repent, and that record you're holding is a ripper.
Yep.
I love Repent.
199 and 500 pressed on this one. This is on Autopsy Stench Records. It's a great name for a record label.
Yeah, they actually released a 4th album on some Costa Rican or Puerto Rican label.
So this is their newest record.
They have a new one?
This is from 2019, and when I did my top 20 video from last year, this one was that right up there in my top 5. It might have been like 2 or 3, from what I recall.
What's it called? Because I'm going to buy it today.
Fantastic! It's called "Condemned to Fail." Yeah, this is great stuff. Kind of a bit of a, I don't want to say hardcore because it makes it sound like it's some kind of metalcore crap, but the vocals are kind of delivered with that punk fury. You know what I'm saying? He's not singing. He's not doing the Agent Steel kind of thing. He's not doing the growl either. So it's more of a thrash yell or a hardcore yell. But man, Justin, what's his name? Man, the freaking singer's name he's a friend of mine. I can't remember his name. That's awful. Jürgen Allman. Thank you. I kept wanting to say Justin. Jürgen Allman is a great vocalist. He's a metal fanatic, and he's got one of the biggest record collections I've ever seen in my life.
Well, there's been sort of a resurgence of the German, with Assassin putting out a new record and Accuser, which you showed a couple shows ago, the new Accuser, the potato chip that you got from the record label. There is sort of a resurgence. Oh my goodness, look at that.
So not on top of Repent, I should have grabbed the run of the record. Actually, I have it over there. I'll go grab it in a second so you can show it to you. But yeah, Hateful Agony is another one. Very good, more modern thrash band, but they're playing, more traditional thrash. Definitely a throwback to the 80s. Kind of there's both. I think both Repent and Hateful Agony. Their sound is kind of a mixture of the German bands, but you can hear a huge influence of the whole
Bay Area, almost a Bay Area thing.
Yeah. So the Bay Area thing always was kind of weird to me because the bands weren't really off in the Bay Area. I mean, Dark Angel, Hyrax, even Megadeth and Metallica were really from LA. So
they migrated.
Yeah,
they did.
I mean, Dark Angel, Hyrax, Vengeance Rising, these were all Southern California bands that were doing thrash in the 80s, So anyhow, I digress. But yeah, Repent. This is one you should know if you don't know it. It's very, very good stuff.
That thing rips.
This fairly easy to get to. It's on High Roller Records, so I mean,
so
you can find it pretty much everywhere. There's a couple different colors versions. I actually have the green version, but that's because Augen sent me one. Look, I'll just brag a little bit there. Let's see if I can show you that. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Man, that's braggadocious right there, and I like it.
So, yep. And then I mean, I can do another one real quick since we're on German and this band is German too, and you just kind of mentioned them, and I just feel like they are the most underrated German band ever. I mean, you think German thrash, what do you think of? Creator, Sodom, Destruction,
Tankard.
Yeah, those are pretty much the four people think of. But to me, this band is every bit as good as them, if not better. But yeah, Accuser.
Absolutely.
How are these guys not more well known in the United States?
I don't know. And that new record they just released is freaking awesome.
This was number 2 or 3 on my top 20 list this year. Just brilliant thrash metal. And the thing about it is they don't sound retro and they don't sound like anybody else.
No, they sound like they used to. And since we're talking about German thrash, because I know that Rob wants to talk about Volbeat, how about Witchburner? Have you ever heard of these guys?
I have heard of Witchburner.
Dude, this thing is a shredder too. And this goes right in that same wheelhouse. These guys are still putting out records and they still sound like 88 to 92. And these are newer records. So Witchburner, another German masterpiece. Oh, here. Thanks, monkey butt. Witchburner. Oh, and you can barely read the logo. Of course I like it.
It's an unreadable logo.
Go ahead. I've got more German stuff if you want to talk German.
I've only got one more, so I will talk about this and then I'll let you boys move on. Oh wow. Oh, go ahead. No, do it.
Oh, have you heard of Vulture?
Nope.
Where did Scott go? I scared him away because
I went to grab the I was sitting over there. It just took me a second longer to grab it, but here's the Hateful Agony, one of the Hateful Agony records.
Dude, I've actually seen that before. That's killer. I should have picked it up.
It is traditional thrash metal. It's on Vaulted Steel Records or something like that. Anyhow, yeah, good. They have a bunch of albums out, so this is not their only album. I just think this is their most recent album.
Yeah. Well, this is the first full length from Vulture. This is like modern, but if you are a fan of Agent Steel, good grief, you're gonna love this record. This thing rips, and it's along the same lines as there's a bunch of new bands that are doing this same type of thing, like Stalker from Australia. Stalker with the umlauts over the A. Check them out. Their new record rips. And if you like the high soaring vocals, like I said, like Agent Steel, you will love Vulture and you will love Stalker from Australia.
Yep.
And that's new, you said? New stuff?
Brand new. It's called Black Terror Magic.
Okay.
It's either like 2019 or early 2020, right? 2020.
Right. They do have an EP out that's called Power Mad, not to be confused with a Minneapolis band called Power Mad, but it rips. Everything they do rips. Go ahead.
Well, the last one I have, I barely missed because I went to Canada on vacation a couple years ago to Calgary, and I believe that's where this band is from. I may have gotten this from you, Carcass. I'm not really sure where I came up with it, but
you got that from me.
I got it from you?
Yeah, that thing rules. That's a good record.
This is called Misleading Evil. They've got a new one out since this one. This one came out in 2017. I know for sure they've got at least one since then. But when I heard this, I was pretty blown away. And as our friend Fraser Dawson would say, the Canadians have done it again. You better recognize that shit. And I do, Fraser. I recognize it, man. Hazard out of, I believe, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Outstanding record. I need to get the new one. If for no other reason, I need to play it on the Metal Rob show. But if you guys have not checked out Hazard, Hazzerd, highly, highly recommended. You would love it.
Well, and one thing that we haven't really talked about because we've been talking about the music itself, but look at that artwork. That looks like a thrash record, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know exactly when I
you know what? Yeah, you know what you're getting with that.
That's exactly right. When I was in Half Price Books up the street a couple of years ago, I was going through the CDs, didn't find anything I wanted, and I picked up this album by a band called Aggression. I think they're from Mexico.
Yep.
As soon as I looked at the artwork, I didn't look it up on my phone. I didn't preview it on YouTube. I put that right in the pile and said, this is going home with me. And now I can't find it. I looked for it yesterday. I don't know what's happened to it, but anyway, yeah, Hazard from Canada. Who's next? Go ahead.
I got one. All right. I'm going to follow up the Agent Steel comment here. Not that this is Agent Steel whatsoever. This band have been around since, I believe they formed in the late 80s, changed their name a couple times. By 1990, or I think they actually finally had the name, but this is After All.
Oh, yeah. Good band.
They've got a huge catalog of stuff. However, honestly, my favorite record by them, I didn't grab their whole catalog. I just grabbed a couple. This album destroys everybody. If you like Toxic, Agent Steel, Realm, those bands with those clean, high-pitched soaring vocals where the guys like on top, on top like that. And I guess that back in the 90s, everybody called it operatic vocals, but whatever. It's just got those very high, clean vocals with the great screams. This band rules. And this is a
Ed Repka cover.
As is their latest album, which came out last year. This is an older album from 2017 or 18. But yeah, these guys have a huge catalog of stuff. I think I've got 6 albums and I don't even have them all. So, but like I said, they've been around since the late 80s. And I think from 1990, actually, I'll tell you for sure because I wrote it down right here. After All, yes, 1990s when they finally settled on a name. Their first name, 1987, their first name was Crap Society, which is a horrible name. And then they changed their name to At Last. And then finally, After All. But yeah, Rob, you'll love this.
Okay.
Fantastic stuff.
I wrote it down.
And I'm pretty sure I picked up my copy from either Hell's Headbangers or Shadow Kingdom.
After All. Pulling them up on Facebook. Bill Matoyer and 3 other friends like this. I must have the right band. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. Have you heard of these guys? Terrifier?
I have.
They're from Spain, and they rule. And notice the cover. Guess what? It's almost instant. If the logo's cool and you got an Ed Repka cover, then that attracts my attention immediately. Terrifier is they're a new band playing old school style thrash metal in a traditional way, and it couldn't be any better than this. And they even sing some songs in Spanish, and they even do a Death Row cover of Riders of Doom that is probably rivals Death Row. So speaking of the German thrash thing, but Terrifier, highly recommended. I think they've got a new record coming out, but this is their first full length.
Man, see, and as you guys keep going, I'm reminded of more bands, but I'm not going to slow you guys down. You're doing great. Keep going.
You want me to go again?
Go again, bro.
Yeah, I only have 10 more in my pile here, so go ahead.
Okay, how about this? Space Chaser. Anybody?
Nope, that's a new one to me.
Space Chaser? German skate thrash. Freaking rules. And they have one record that is so bizarre, but you got to have it because if you're a completist. But Space Chaser rips. And this to me is probably their this is called Dead Sun Rising. This SUN, this thing rules. I can't speak highly enough about it. And it's all just 3 minutes of the permapress cycle in your washing machine, like I mentioned. It's freaking awesome.
You said skate thrash, so it kind of has a crossover hardcore edge, or what?
A little bit, but more like, instead of like DRI, more like Municipal Waste or Excel. It's less crossover and more thrash.
So not Agnostic Front.
No, not Agnostic Front, but not like Ranger. I should have thrown this one up there with the operatic vocals.
Yep.
And if you can find this on vinyl, I wonder if you can find the red version.
I have their first album, not their second, right?
Yeah, this is an EP. This is the their first EP, and then they have a full length, and then they have a second full length, which I actually think puts them on the pinnacle of things. I love this record. It's traditional heavy metal with as you say, the operatic vocal.
I don't know about Ranger.
Check them out.
Yeah, they're one of the new wave of traditional thrash metal bands.
Sure.
Okay.
So
I'm on it. You guys are schooling me today, man. I mean, I know I like some butt rock, but dude, I love me some thrash too.
Okay.
You guys are taking me to freaking school.
Well, I had mentioned about seeing bands in obscure places. Well, here's another band that I saw in that same taco shop, Witch Trap. These guys came all the way up from Colombia, for crying out loud, to play in a taco stand in East Dallas.
Wow.
And these guys,
I've seen that logo. Do you have a shirt with them?
I have several shirts.
Okay.
With them, and they absolutely shred. Two brothers. They're a power trio, and the brother and the is a drummer, and then they have the guitarist is the other brother. They freaking rule. I love Witch Trap. Anything they put out is good. Some of their later stuff is a little more down tempo and not so blackened and just mayhemic, but I love this album in particular. But they all rule. Witch Trap from Colombia, and I don't mean South Carolina. I mean from South America.
Keep it up. You guys are doing great.
I got one more, and this one there is no vinyl release on this. This band was formed and I talked to you guys about this a little bit before the show, but this band was formed in the mid 80s under the name Rapture, and then by 89 changed their name to Musketeers, and this is the Downward Spiral. And I've heard a million times, they copied Nine Inch Nails. No, they did not. Nine Inch Nails was 90s. This was made in 1989. So, but anyhow, this CD only is available from Rox Records as well for $7, I think. And it has a full-length album on it and 5 or 6 bonus tracks. But these guys are a local band from my area, from New Mexico. They were hugely popular. They were playing all kinds of shows. They toured with Testament and I think Leatherwolf, and they toured all over the place. I know they also toured with was it Deliverance or Vengeance Rising, one of those two bands. So, but they were flown out to California by a record label. I'll leave the name of the label off. And wined and dined and had several offers on the table from different labels, but they really wanted to be on this one label that literally flew them out to California. Like I said, wined and dined them, put on a bunch of shows with them, and they thought for sure that they were going to be signing with them in 1989. And then the entire thing fell through, and it never happened. And unfortunately, the album just sat and was never released. Just cassette copies that the band released on their own and sold their shows. And then it sat and nobody really knew anything about them at all. And then in 2010, my band Ultimatum recorded a cover of one of their songs just because we were such fans of them locally. And the label owner, whose name is Bill Bafford, loved the song that we recorded. And he's like, he wanted to use that as the single for our record. And we're like, yeah, go ahead. He's like, well, who's that band? Never heard of him. So I made him a cassette tape and, mailed him off the tape. I'm like, here, check this out. He's like, oh, dude, we got to put that out. Can you get permission to put that out? And I'm like, no problem. So we put this out, and we recently put out the entire demos on. It's called Rapture Vacation from Hell, but it's all the Rapture and Musketeers demos from 1989 or 1985 all the way through 1998 on 2-disc set. That was on Retroactive Records, so that one's available at boomsoverstock.com if anybody interested in that. But John, don't buy this. I have a copy for you. There you go. That's mine. Long story short, the bad part is main man in the band is Paul Skazafava. Everybody called him Skaz. And Skaz has what's that disease where you shake all the time?
Parkinson's
disease. And he can no longer play guitar, and he's pretty much stuck at home. And it's sad. And I go and visit him quite often because he lives only maybe 10 minutes from my house up until this year, because I don't want to. I mean, I'm not scared of COVID, but I don't want to even chance getting him sick.
No,
it's just not worth it to me. I mean, so I haven't seen him since March.
We'll definitely tell him hello from the Metal Roundtable next time.
Absolutely.
I will.
Tell him that you've graduated up to this huge, successful show, and he'll be impressed.
I've got one more release that I think is appropriate for this day and time.
Do it. Yes,
You remember when we saw them, Rob?
I sure do.
They've been through some lineup changes, and of course, I had to get the etched green.
I have that.
The etched green version. But how you can speak to this? How much does Protest thrash? They absolutely rip, and you can back me up on this 100,000%.
They thrashed my wig right off.
Look, there's not even a sign of a wig there.
Nothing. It's all gone. My wig went flying back to the sound booth because we were right down front, you know, like a couple of old guys should be, a couple of geriatrics in a mosh pit.
Yeah, I don't get people that want to hang back and nurse their beer. You're at a thrash show, you're at a metal show.
Man,
you better be banging that head and fist pumping.
Yeah,
and
they were great.
So anyway, but local honks, and you know what? That band has members of. Who does the singer sing for? Also, or used to sing for? Casey Orr's old band.
The Hellions.
The Hellions, and they have Ernie. They have Ernie playing bass from Chemicost, and they're also in War Ensemble, which is one of the more killer local Slayer cover bands that I've ever seen, and man, they just write killer riffs. They thrash. All their songs are good. There's like all filler, no killer, or all killer, no filler, and so I figured with the sign of the times, let's end on that Protest.
Yes, that's a good one and funny, and that's one of the things that happens to me when I go to a show and I really like the band. I go immediately to the merch table, and I'll usually pick up a couple CDs or whatever, maybe a T-shirt. But I was like, give me one of those, and give me one of those, and give me one of those. I don't smoke. I left with an ashtray. You know,
that's right.
I barely drink. I left with a shot glass,
of course,
and a koozie, and stickers, and it was just like, yeah, man, load me up.
How much can I get for what I got left in my pocket? And he loaded us both up. He loaded us both up because we don't drink, smoke, or use drugs. But oh well. I should have worn that Dallas. I love the Dallas Cowboys Protest shirt. I should have worn that one with the upside down Dallas star.
Yes.
But anyway, I figured that was a good way to end the entropy. Yeah, I noticed that.
Canadian thrash, another Canadian thrash band.
Yep.
And I think they released a new album in 2020 that I still don't have yet.
Wow, they're still putting out music.
Yep.
That's freaking awesome.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, Entropy is fantastic stuff.
Yep.
I'm writing it down.
So we're creeping up on show number 80.
Can you believe that? Which means we're creeping up on show number 100.
I wonder what's going to happen for 100.
Got a few weeks, but I
It's
don't know.
called,
I guess we'll see.
I just looked it up. It's Forced Conversion, released in 2020, full-length album.
Nice.
Ooh.
If anybody finds where to get that from, I want that.
Discogs.
Yeah.
You may be relegated to Discogs.
What are our parting shots, boys? I just want to remind everybody, you can follow me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. Also check out themetalroundtable.com. Also check out my internet radio show on Deep Dallas Radio. You can go straight to themetalrobshow.com and take it, Carcass.
No, at Carcass John Art on Instagram. And like I said, if you can guess what the shirt says, you'd be the first one to answer. I will send you a sticker pack, and I have a couple of prints that I would probably roll up and send your way. So let's make it fun. I was going to wear a shirt that I actually designed, but then I thought,
yeah, show the logo again.
Okay, this is the logo. Let me get real close.
I have no clue what that says.
I think we're on to it though.
I don't know.
I don't even know what it is. I saw it and I said, I don't know what that says, but I'm going to buy it because it meets the vibe. And I mean, I guess I could have done, like I said, I have a shirt that has this on it, which is something I did. But like I said, hit me up if you know what it is and we can confirm it. Then I'm going to send you a sticker pack and whatever else. And as I mentioned, hit me up for a logo. Hit me up for an album cover. Let's have some fun. I mean, that's what metal is. Metal is supposed to be fun, I know that these are serious times and everyone's all distracted by the crap that's flying around in the world today. But you know what? Who cares? Let's just have some fun. Let's get along and let's thrash. I need a good thrash show. We need a show like that. I remember watching Protest with you, and we're like just back from the pandemic, and everyone's like all wide-eyed and like scared, and we were just up there.
Bring it on. Let's rock.
We're like, oh, all right, it's 88 again. But anyway.
And don't forget our new partner over here, NoLifeTillMetal.com.
NoLifeTillMetal.com, NoLifeTillMetalRecords.com. And it's just Scott Waters on YouTube, but you can get to the YouTube and Facebook and all the other stuff right from NoLifeTillMetal.com.
Beautiful. All right, kids. That was episode 79, Thrash Bands We Think You Should Know. Until next time for episode 80, you know how we do it. Metal
will prevail.
It will.